A coup attempt is underway in the West African nation of Niger. Witnesses report that military vehicles have been blocking the entrance to Mohamed Bazoum's presidential palace. The president says members of the Presidential Guard are holding him inside the palace. Access to ministries next to the palace had also been blocked. Let's bring in Ahmed Idris, who's following developments from Abuja in neighboring Nigeria. Ahmed, what have you been able to gather on this?
Well, basically what we are hearing from Niamey is that military activity has been noticed on the outskirts of the city, where some of these military barracks have been set up. And there was a statement calling on all loyal troops to move in and quell the disturbances. Some reports suggest that there's been some skirmishes around the national television station, but that has not been fully confirmed. Yes, the president is still being held by the Presidential Guard, who took him earlier this morning from his residence and kept him captive, and his family. Now, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has issued a strong statement condemning the coup attempt, saying that they will not accept any unconstitutional change of power in Niger Republic. And they're calling on the coup plotters, those who are trying to execute the coup, to return to their barracks and surrender themselves.
Ahmed, thank you very much. I'll let you and your team news gather, and if something significant happens, you'll let us know. Meanwhile, I'll go to Charles Stratford in Dakar. Charles, you're at the ECOWAS summit. That's the Economic Community of West African States. What are they saying? Are you learning anything there?
Well, certainly there has been a statement put out by ECOWAS already, as you heard Ahmed detail there. ECOWAS, which is the regional body responsible for security across this region, condemning this attempted coup in the most vigorous way. In their words, they were calling for all actors involved to release the president, who, of course, was democratically elected in 2021. There's also been a statement put out by the African Union calling on what they described as the treasonous soldiers to stop immediately. So, simply a very worrying situation in Niamey, in Niger, and of course, in the context of the entire region suffering so many military coups in recent years. According to our estimates here, we've calculated that it would be the sixth coup, if indeed this is a coup and a successful one. It would be the sixth one in West Africa in recent years. So, of great concern, especially because Niger is so pivotal, plays such a pivotal role in security operations, anti-terror operations across the region. Most notably, not only in Niger, but in places like in Mali and Burkina Faso, because French forces have been rebased there, having had to be moved out of Mali in recent months as well. So it has huge security implications, this. A very worrying news from another West African state this morning.
All right, Charles Stratford in Dakar, thank you very much. Same thing as Ahmed, I'll let you go. And as you find out more on what's happening on the ground in Niger, we'll be cutting back to you. Thank you, Charles. Emmanuel Kwesi Eining is the director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, and he explains why West African nations are constantly under coup threats.
Niger has been fairly unstable since 1960, having 4 successful coup d'etats and several unsuccessful coups located within just about the epicenter of the violence in the Sahel. So on balance, the President Mohamed Bazoum and his government seem to be facing a very uphill task. But I think it's very important that the signals from the international community are consistent. And I think here there'll have to be some trade-offs, deepening democracy, a much more inclusive economic development processes, and then support for the government to be able to deliver very credible fight to the violent extremists. In Niger, the population is almost increasing by 40–50% almost every 5 years or so. That places immense pressures on any government's ability to create jobs, to provide education, to provide health, to provide housing. But there must be a balance around this, and there must be a conversation as to how governments that are under economic restraint of limited resources are able to explain to their populations what the challenges are, an ability to fight corruption. That has been a major challenge for West Africa's democracies, and that almost consistently, almost legitimizes the military's desire to intervene. Corruption is the big elephant in the room here, plus the fight against violent extremists. This is a challenge that almost all West African governments are facing.